You should be live.
Okay, we're on.
Let me know if you need anything. I'll be over there for a few minutes.
Okay, thanks. I will call the meeting to order. This is the Board of Zoning Appeals for the town of Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. It is Tuesday, September 13th, 6 p.m. We have 4 agenda items, and present are myself, David Simmons, the chair, Ed Wheelis, the vice chair, and Lynn Pechakonis, the secretary. Need a motion to approve the agenda. As-
Are we muted when it says you are muted?
Oops.
That's us or?
Shall we start over?
Sure.
Call the meeting to order. This is the Board of Zoning Appeals for the town of Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. Today is Tuesday, September 13th. We have a 6 p.m. quarterly meeting. Present are myself, David Simmons, the chair, Ed Willis, the vice chair, and Lynn Pechakonis, the secretary. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay, so the first item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from the July 11th hearing.
I move that we approve the minutes from July 11th.
I'll second. All those in favor? Okay, and then there was a hearing on July 25th that I cannot be a part of, but I wasn't there. Need a motion to approve those minutes.
I so move.
Second.
I'll abstain. All those in favor? Okay. And the next item is the discussion of information needs related to a demolition permit at 730 Fillmore Street. We got an email from Kevin with an explanation of why they need to demolish the building, the accessory building, the garage. And I wanted to have this meeting just so we could discuss. Is that enough? Do we want more? What does that look like if we want more? So that's, I'd like to have some thoughts on that. I'll let you guys go.
Which one is it? 699 or 730?
730 Fillmore Street. Yeah. So they have a old blue, it's a blue house garage in the back,
Yep.
right at the end of the driveway. There were some pictures of some rotted wood, but we don't have a professional opinion. We just have an opinion of the homeowner, and I'm not sure. Kevin, are you there? Let me see these. He requested to be in.
Oh, yes, there it is.
Okay. Okay.
How about now?
Yep. Hey, Kevin. Can you hear us on our end? Sorry about that.
No problem.
Just start talking about the demolition on Fillmore Street. So I'll say Kevin Hamilton is the ordinance compliance officer. He is also in the meeting virtually. So we had the email from the applicant explaining why they need to demolish the secondary building, and I think Lynn sent you an email wondering if you had been by to look at it yourself. Did you have any opinions on the structure?
I have not been inside of the garage. I've only been on the outside. With the pictures are showing, you know, some rotten wood and windows are in bad shape. And on the back side, there's a pretty bad section, but I couldn't tell you what the structure looks like on the inside. Every time I've been there, there's nobody been home.
Okay. So, I feel like we're setting a precedent here, you know, if we just take the homeowner's opinion. So we should probably get a professional opinion since it is a contributing structure.
Yeah, because I don't see actually any, even the homeowner didn't provide any proof that it could not be repaired, which
Right.
is what the
Right.
guidelines call for, right?
Yeah, I was in it 2 years ago, maybe. And I mean, it's not an all-weather building, it's a shed.
Yeah,
It's not meant to be living space.
yeah.
Um,
Keegan worked in there too for John Mark for a while. And he said it's not pretty, but it's, you know, they've been working it for a while.
So, yeah, I think I'd like to see more justification, or like you said, an expert opinion.
And I could see two paths as like I know Alicia McCormick's done structural engineering work for us at our house.
Emily,
And she could be hired by the town to render an opinion, and then we pass the fee on to the applicant because BZA has that authority. Or we just ask the applicant to get a professional engineer to review the structure and provide us with the opinion. I don't feel like I do need sort of personally, I need a professional to tell me whether or not it's worth, you know, preserving, you know, like the way the hotel was. They had an architect who's a historic architect. They gave it some long look inspections, etc., and kind of made some decisions that are like, don't think we can preserve this thing. It's this, the foundation's
Too far gone,
so that's the kind of thing I mean, it doesn't have to be obviously a very Washington DC architect, but I do need someone to tell me. I'm not sure. I don't feel competent to make that decision without a professional. How about you?
No. I would be happy to get an expert opinion.
Okay.
so this opinion, would it have to be a engineer, architect, contractor? Because the homeowner himself is an architect. I do know that. But I think we should get an outside source, really.
Yeah, independent. He's
Yeah.
conflicted. So, yeah, I would say probably a professional registered in the state of West Virginia.
That is familiar with historic preservation.
Did you hear that, Kevin?
I did
That's
hear, yes.
so. You know, I don't know if Alicia McCormick fits that bill. I'm not sure. The things she's done for me are something different. So,
The Mills Group has an office in Shepherdstown. I don't know that they have the capacity to take on something like that. It's one
Okay.
option too.
we use Grove and Dallalio for the library, and I feel like they've got some historic preservation
And
Yeah,
expertise as well. So do we want to do it independently ourselves and get someone, or ask the applicant to get someone? That I think that's what our motion should be about, is either asking the applicant to find a professional and give some guidelines, or we're going to tell Kevin that we're going to find that person and let them know. So
Is it also an option to give the homeowner like a list of people we would approve of and let them choose which?
we could do that. I don't have a,
what I don't know is if it should be on the homeowner or on the town. I mean, this doesn't come up often. Basically, we want to go the extra mile to protect historic buildings. Whether it's right to,
Well, I mean, really, the homeowner, it had never said that this can't be repaired. That's not, he said he's afraid. I don't know if the roof or the floor could potentially fall, but he's not saying it can't be fixed.
right.
And the other arguments are that it looks bad and it will look better It was
And
run down.
I have some concern about the end goal. It appears to be to build basically a second residential building on the lot, and we don't really allow that. And I think he's comparing it to the Montessori school that the Stowells built. And I think that was grandfathered in, but I don't think our ordinances allow an accessory structure that is a
And like,
living. I'm not sure how it was handled in your case.
Because we had a bed and breakfast. So there was an allowance for that.
I think it's so it's a garage, so the 2-story would be a problem too, and what he proposed, that
Right.
would need a variance. But I think we start like, I think this was Glenn's idea initially, which I thought was good, is like, they need to justify demolishing.
yeah,
And then if they're concerned, I guess we could say if they're concerned about the build out afterwards, they want to understand that, maybe get that approval first, contingent on a demolition permit. I mean, you go different ways here, but or we could.
Yeah, I'm concerned about approving a demolition if the end goal is not achievable.
Yeah.
Would they still have the motivation to demolish the historic structure?
I mean, I suppose we could approve a demolition permit with a contingency that it will not be demolished until the build out is approved or something. Does that make sense? In other words, the redesign is approved. I'm brainstorming here. I mean, I had the same thing with the when we're doing the hotel, even though it didn't come through BZA. I was proposing to the BZA to look at the variances first and do them individually, because they might want to, if they got the variance, okay, but if they didn't, they could redesign. You know what I mean? Like, it depends on these other decisions on what it looks like in the end. So kind of to your point. I mean, a demolition permit assumes it's got to be demolished regardless of if you rebuild. Right. I mean, that's what it's going to have to be. And if we say it,
Well, we'll say that, you know, if we approve the demolition, it would not be any guarantee that anything could be built in its place.
If.
Yes.
Mhm. So does anyone have a preference on how we proceed, like as far as we find us, BZA finding the professional versus the asking the applicant to find that professional and giving them some guidelines?
I feel like it needs to be someone that's answering to us, not the applicant. We are hiring an expert opinion to help us render our judgment. Just
It's how it's written in the ordinance. I mean, it is that we can get outside help if we need to. We can also pass those fees off to the applicant, and that has sense your reluctance to do that, or
yeah. I think it's tough. Might be something to talk to Greg and or
I
the
know.
lawyer about.
so I think.
How do other cities handle that? I think the attorneys represents Martinsburg. Is that right?
At one point, still does.
I think so.
So he may have some experience there.
Yeah. Okay, so Kevin, we're gonna punt a little bit, I think, and
Okay,
research on our end, but you can let the applicant know that we're looking for some professional opinion as to the whether or not this structure needs to be demolished or not.
Independent.
is this at the town's expense? Is that what you're saying?
It may be,
Maybe?
it's TBD, basically, because we do have in the ordinance the right to ask for fees for our expert help,
But we wouldn't engage that expert without the approval of the homeowner, so
Right, understand.
especially if they were paying for it.
yeah, we'll have to scope it out, so it might take a little while to do this.
Okay,
And I don't even know if we have to go out to bid, depending on the size. Maybe Lynn knows that number.
I don't.
Yeah.
And I know it's at least over 500, but I'm not sure if they changed it.
Okay,
So just to clarify, if we should decide that the homeowner would be required to pay that fee, they would have the option of withdrawing the request to demolish, right?
Yeah.
Rather than paying the fee.
right.
But that is undetermined at this time.
Does that make sense, Kevin?
it does, it does.
Right up in our notes, but we'll,
That just gives me something to let the applicant know what's going on anyway.
and then on our end, I'm away for the next 3 days. If do either of you want to start working with Greg and the attorney on this, or can we wait till I come back? My daytime hours are not as open as I'm starting a new job, so I can't meet with these guys. I'll probably do like lunchtime phone calls and things.
I'm out the next 2 days, but could,
Is the mayor out of town too? Wasn't
I
he on
believe
yesterday?
so,
I'm not sure when. he's
Yeah.
back.
because,
I can ping him Monday and then start that
And
conversation.
I know he's out next Wednesday. He won't make the Civil War roundtable. I don't know, is it all one long trip or?
He's
I
supposed
just
to
know
tell
it was
all the
good.
residents his plan.
Um,
It's a small town.
Yeah, or maybe, I mean, are we allowed to go to the attorney or do we?
Usually
Breaks
email
and
him and
people
say, hey,
first.
can I contact him? Since sure, he sends
Okay.
an email, copies me, says Dave's gonna call you or something, yeah.
Okay,
So. I can even send an email tonight,
okay. so-
just say I'm out of town, but.
Okay,
this
Yeah,
is what I
just
wanna talk
CC us
about.
all and
Yep, yep,
whoever can pick up on it.
yeah, that'd be great. Okay. About the fees and selection of the expert. Structural. Okay. Anything more on that? And then the other item on the agenda is the Heist project on it's 5th Street. And we had sent in a list of questions / information requests to them a while back, which I'm trying to pull up now. This was their response. My quick look at our list versus this tells me it doesn't have everything we were looking for. Like footprint wise, I was thinking we don't have a good. It feels like it's missing site plan again, like a view from above.
Hmm.
So, but that was my quick look at it. It wasn't a completely thorough look.
yeah, I think the one thing that is clear is that they're making the deck bigger. And so it's like really going to be a deck now, not uncovered deck.
Okay,
We weren't just doing the same footprint as the old deck.
Oh, wider.
Yes.
We don't know the deck.
Says 12 by 20 on this. But I don't know.
Yep.
Currently is the depth.
yeah, because we were looking for like. Sort of an overlay or something to tell us like, what is it now? And like, even with the windows I'm looking at, I don't see. All windows are basically original sizes, but if I look at the. This, I don't see, I'm trying to see like. This view here. I don't, I guess that's a window there. Like I can't really tell.
Yeah, I think those were boarded up on that side,
Yeah, these two. So
and they're just gonna cover that first floor one over,
okay,
but I guess reopen the second floor one
okay,
would be my.
and then the,
That's correct. That's the plan. Yes.
okay. So our questions were, please provide the address. We know that now. We asked them to explain if 103 Potomac Street is used as an address. Because that was the application on the, that was the address on the application, was it not?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Kevin, do you know the answer to that? Did they use 103?
Well, I understand that they got an address for the back side and the front side. We got a High Street address, then a Potomac Street address. I don't know if that was apartment back there at one time
Okay,
or what. All I know, she said it was put on in about the 70s. So it's not part of the contributing structure. I know if they don't do
About the
something.
70s.
Yeah,
That's when it was added.
that's what the applicant is saying. Yeah.
Okay.
I know if they don't do something soon, it's gonna come down.
Meaning what's gonna come down, the whole addition or the
Yeah.
porch?
Well, the back side, I guess you could call it all a porch. The roof's in bad shape, the siding's in bad shape, the
Okay.
right facing it from Potomac Street, the right side has got the most damage under them shingles.
Okay,
It's like a OSB board of some type behind those shingles.
Okay. So it wasn't built for the ages.
No, no, it wasn't.
I'm looking at the door section too. We asked them for a photo of the door, the actual door they're gonna put in, and we don't, that's not in here.
That's not in there. I thought it was.
Well, the original packet had a picture, but it's like black and white. It's hard to.
Yeah, it is. It's hard getting information from these people.
I know, no. I wanted to sketch to scale, but this is what we got, so quite close. And then we asked them to kind of look at the variance request for the doors. So we gave them some items they haven't. Are they prepared to put something in writing on that, or where are they at with those two items? There's,
With the door?
yeah, we wrote down the doors. There were two items in the appendix A.
Right.
The variance for. They convey the same visual appearance as the original, or be compatible with the style.
Right. The only answer I got on that was going to match the front door, but it'd be a double door. And it'd be an all wood door.
Yeah, we need them to.
Well, I'm not sure that Can we look at that? I'm not sure the part about it. The same appearance as the original applies if we're talking about a 1970 addition.
This is under standards for historic resources, so is that the term for contributing structures?
Mhm.
Okay, so
But
think
we're
this-
talking about a non-contributing
addition,
addition. I don't think we can apply.
okay,
I wouldn't think we would apply the,
okay,
try to preserve a door from the 1970s. Just because it was at some point added to a historic structure.
I guess the question is it compatible with what's down there now? Really, right? It's not on the structure per se, but on that Potomac Street. Does it detract from that? I mean, certainly
Right.
the siding does, but I mean, they put in a new double door. I think there's another double door next door, right? Yeah. Okay. So maybe a variance is not needed.
I don't remember if that double door next door. I doubt that's, from the period of the building, from the period of significance either, but. But I think because it's. Already a non-contributing addition. And I give it a little, I mean, it's in a very sensitive area, being right there in the lower town. But I kind of, because it is a townhouse with a front facade and a back facade that are not seen at the same time. I kind of think of that as non-contributing.
Because we didn't get this, yeah. I mean, when you put an addition onto a contributing structure, like I know we don't, I remember when you guys did the chimney at the church, right? That got added after the fact, so it wasn't contributing, so I would think the same would apply to a living space as well, I guess, right? That it's not contributing and it doesn't get treated the same as the other part of the house.
That would be my read.
So those variances may not apply then, basically.
But the variance as to the deck would, right? Because that applies
Yeah.
anytime when it's in public view.
And siding, before we get to the deck, siding, Kevin, we asked for the material of the construction underneath the shingles? Did we get that?
Yes, it was plywood.
Okay,
Some of it was like some type of OSB particle board.
okay. And then you want to talk about the deck?
Well, I think they definitely need to request a variance. If they're going to enlarge that into an even bigger deck than it already is, and since we don't really allow decks in the public area, public view anyway.
We really do need a site plan, Kevin, that shows this from an aerial view. Like, we just need to know where it stands from property line, all those things. Really
All
nice.
right.
I know it's hard getting info from them, but we need to.
And we had also asked about, how the stairs, balusters, and handrails would look.
I do have a concern that nearly every other business on that street has a deck on the back.
That's it.
Yeah.
I was just thinking Cannonball Deli and, yeah.
The B&B, Baldelli.
Coach House, I think, kind of has it. meandering.
Is that because we permitted them to?
Place that has hot dogs. I think the B&B was approved, I think. I wasn't on BZA though, so I probably shouldn't speak to that.
I've only seen, since I've been on the BZA, I've only seen one application down there from, I think there are people in the fair trade place, and they end up withdrawing it. They have a design plan for the burnt out building. But
Yeah, I know a lot of changes get made down there without any permit.
Kevin knows too. So what's your concern, like that they're getting different treatment than other people, or? I'm kind of,
Well, yeah, it's gonna seem unfair, not that we shouldn't follow.
Right.
I mean, that's our job, is to follow these standards and guidelines.
I mean, we can take into
And it
consideration.
could be
the-
appealed, but
what it looks like down there, because I mean, the setback has this language about these are our setbacks, except unless your neighborhood has these setbacks, right? So has different setbacks, and you're consistent with that, so.
well, there's the idea, I think if it's a porch, which historically this building had, that would be allowable, and the difference is a porch has a roof over it.
Mhm.
But all that would be considered in our deliberations on the variance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we really need, we still need a better
So-
drawing,
Back to, yes, I think we need,
need a better drawing, and we need a justification for the variance from the applicant. Right,
well, by better drawing, you mean a plan view.
plan view, but no, site plan, so plan views this way, I believe.
Oh, that's an elevation. But the
Okay.
plan was bird's eye
Plan.
view.
We need to see the property lines in the drawing, showing where the deck lands with the existing structure, etc.
Well, I assume this is kind of what this is. It's 3 foot. I mean, because of the townhouse, I think the width of the house is the lot.
Yeah, because each of those buildings butt right up against one another.
So
Yeah.
it's inset 3 foot on either side,
Right.
I wanna, so.
and it juts out 12 feet.
But here's my house and here's my new deck. That's the view I need to see. And here's.
But
the property
we
line.
kind of have that. I think it's 3 foot inset on each side, and it juts out 12 feet.
From the structure. But.
But we don't know what the balustrades and handrails.
Right,
all look
that-
like.
Yeah, detail on the balusters and handrails and that. That's 4B, right? Yeah. So Kevin, if you can go through that email we sent with them and just check off, I think windows wise, I think they've got. The materials of construction are in the window package we got originally, I believe.
Okay, so are we good on the site plan part where it's showing where the deck is located?
These guys like it, I don't, but it's okay.
Well, I'm okay with it. I haven't heard
Yeah,
from Lynn.
I think it'll do.
It tells
get
us
the
what's
point.
going on.
That plus this other picture
Yeah.
has helped me to see the difference in the old and the new.
Yeah.
All right, now, so we need materials for handrail and ballast.
And design.
And the design, yeah, I would nudge them away from the California style railings that are applied to the outside and go with a toed in spindles. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah.
If they're kind of still, or if they haven't really made that determination.
Yeah, how about, are we still looking at a variance for the deck size?
Just the fact that there's a deck in the public view,
Right, so,
we would need a variance for that. But you could tell them that if they put a roof over it, it would be a porch and a much easier sell for the historic district.
so if they do the roof over, the variance wouldn't be needed, right?
Well, it's different size than what's there. I think they still would need.
But it's replacing a deck with a porch. I wouldn't
No.
think so. I don't know.
I'm just trying to get everything in
Yeah,
line
we're
here. to-
making it more historic rather than less.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, architectural standards aren't sufficiently similar to what's in Appendix A. I guess as long as they're following Appendix A guidelines with the porch. They're good.
I mean, we'd still want to see the styling and materials, but
Oh, yeah, right.
if they put a roof on it, I don't think it would need a variance. 'Cause we
Alright.
don't outlaw porches, but we do decks.
Yeah, because apparently they're supposed to be at the back of the property or whatnot.
Right,
she-
and
Not.
And she don't, I guess she don't have a back of a property. She got two
right.
front.
Yeah, we don't really say back of the property, we say visible from a public way.
You do,
which is
you do, right,
clearly is.
right. All right, so, better drawing of the deck, and if it put a roof over the deck, the variance we don't need.
Right,
As long
And
as
for-
the balusters and other
right.
architectural features are consistent with Appendix A.
Right. All right, I'll see what I can come up with on that one then.
It's getting confusing.
Okay.
Good answer.
And if they want to build a double porch, even better, because that's,
Oh, my, yeah, that's all the way up through there.
Okay,
Okay, that's what it is. I'll pass this information on.
so I mean, we're not having a hearing yet because the application isn't complete, so
I understand, yes,
the 45-day clock starts ticking when that's complete, so we're still working through that,
right.
if they're asking.
And the applicant knows that too,
Okay,
yes.
all right. Anything more on the Heights project? All right. Thank you, Kevin.
All right, you guys have a good one.
thanks.
Any other matters you guys?
Can I request something maybe for a future administrative meeting, and that's some clarification on whether we require proof of a home ownership when people make an application? There
Yeah.
seems to be some inconsistencies there that I can't figure out anyway.
Yeah, I think I think that's something Kevin should be doing, probably, just to make sure that when it's, because when you look at other townships, they're signing, like they're swearing people in when they come to the hearings. Like Jefferson County has a swearing in, swear to tell the truth, whatever, and we're pretty lax that way, so I feel like the only thing we really do is ask, make sure the homeowner is aware of what's going on, because that we don't
Well, if you
know.
sign it, aren't you attesting to it?
But if you're not, we had applications that were signed by non-homeowners who said they were the homeowner. So the Hamilton guys.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
we weren't even allowed to restrict short-term rentals when that was done. That was at a period when we were
Yeah.
exceeding our authority to even give them a.
Yeah, but at that time, I think it was still up in the air, wasn't it?
No, it was, the law was on the books. We just
Then
had
why do we
to
have to-
conform to it.
Yeah, but actually, I take a different view because the town needed to change their ordinances before the BZA. I would have done it different. Town should have changed the ordinances, then the BZA enacts the ordinances. So that was the gray area that was going on with us. But regardless, if some, like. Wouldn't we, even, let's say we don't have the short-term rental requirement, if someone's coming in to register a business in a house that they don't own. Does our registration require a signature? Like, to me, that would be. It's a way to protect the homeowners, to make sure that
Does our
they're
ordinance say
aware.
that?
I don't know about business registrations and things like
I
that.
don't think it does. I don't think it says you have to be the owner of the home.
No, I
It
don't
says
think,
whether or not it can take place in the home.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, doesn't the permit, it has the applicant's info plus the owner's info.
Yeah,
Um,
so the owner.
So
Fine.
it should be. You know, if it's not filled in correctly. I don't know, maybe the language at the signature needs to be stronger to say, I attest that.
I think
Well,
it
the other
does.
thing is consistency, because on this last issue, we had been working with this applicant for like 4 months, and then when it came to BZA, suddenly we said, oh, we need proof that you're the owner.
Yeah, that was me,
And
because I
then,
didn't know who he
but
was.
then, like on another application, the grandson, you know, applied and the owner did not sign it.
She did sign it.
It had her name on it, but I didn't see her signature anywhere.
Oh, well, it should have
So
been
like, I mean,
signed.
we trust it, and in most cases.
No,
we
no,
trust
but that's a
people,
fair-
like with new people in town that were like harassing them.
But that, like, if she didn't sign that, I would, like. Let's just say I'm not a good son-in-law and I'm doing projects in care, but it happens. I can tell you stories, okay? And somebody's doing projects and they don't own the house, like they've, Heidi and I live there, we don't own it now. Like, if we're doing things that we shouldn't be doing. I don't know, I feel like the town needs to confirm that the owner knows what's going on. And if the owners get Alzheimer's and they have a power of attorney, all that stuff, like. I think that's kind of, I feel like it's important.
And I don't argue, I think that it's a fine thing to do, that we always do it and require it at the moment that the application's put in.
Yeah.
4 months
No, I'm
later.
totally with you on that. 100%.
And how do you confirm it?
I think you go online. You can go online and check the map,
And
the
it's not
records.
always up to date.
Right.
The tax
But if it
assessors.
isn't, then you call the owner who signed and say, what's going on? Well, I just bought it 6 months ago. And then you call the county. I mean, I don't think it takes, I think it's a thing you can do. That Kevin can do, or if he wants Pat to do it or whatever, but somebody can do it. I don't think it's that big of a lift. I don't know. I feel like it's a good practice.
Yeah, if it's consistent.
Yeah.
If it's consistent, I agree, 100%. I'm not arguing with you at all. We have a meeting later this month to talk about the consistency stuff, so, and just process, so.
Right.
We do,
I'm-
or
I do with, Greg's had this assembly of planning landmarks. Chris is coming, I'm assuming, they've been putting together a process, I think, document. So we're gonna talk about that, so. Trying to get it to be consistent, and timely. But. It's a long process. I'm gonna move we adjourn.
a second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Yeah, I hope I didn't get that homeowner mad, Lynn, sorry about that. But-
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we got back to him or if we got stopped in the process.
Well, I'm learning all these things because I want to